I am back. Here he is, I'm back. Right. Okay. Um yeah, just a quickie to let you know what happened and what's going on and blah 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 blah. So I went to forgive the fan noise by the way, it's really warm in here. Like really warm. Um yeah, I went to the Steam and Vintage County Fair kind of thing. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. The only problem is that they always seem to host it on the hottest day of the year for that particular location. It's not the hottest day of the year everywhere in the UK. It's just the hottest day of the year, in that particular location. In Banbury, it is basically the hottest day of the year. Excuse me. So yeah, it was really annoying. I'm also running on like no sleep as well because I managed to get like an hour here and there, but that was it. So I'm kind of like I did manage to get some sleep in the car. That's something kind of, but yeah, but yeah, there was really though. I mean, there was like some nice things there. They had some nice stalls. A lot of stuff was like overpriced. A lot of stuff was kind of just a bit tacky. A lot of stuff was just the same stuff that they had before in the years before. There wasn't a lot of like new stuff, and that's okay. But it was kind of oh my god, excuse me. So I haven't talked to anybody for like hours, so it's kind of like a bit weird using my voice again. This happens a lot because I don't really talk much here, but yeah, it's like I talk a lot here, but I don't talk much off camera, So it's like it's a thing. I should really do exercise before. Okay, so the consume, the stuff that you can buy was kind of like a bit meh. Not a lot of new stuff. Some new stuff, but not a lot of new stuff. And yeah, I was mainly there for the exhibits. But the problem is that I missed the motorcycle show because I am, I'm married to somebody who doesn't wake up super early in the morning and doesn't want to rush around and stuff. And that's okay. But I want to see the motorcycle stuff. They have like the motorcycle show. That's like one of the first things that they do. And what's really irritating is that they've got this big open space, the show area, where basically like they bring in a bunch of stuff and it's all a theme and yeah. Um, so they basically have like what was the first thing they had? Like the first thing they had was um, like the mini steam engine stuff. Oh no, it's the classic cars. It's the absolute classic cars first. So these are basically no wait no I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's the commercial vehicles they have first. So they have a bunch of commercial vehicles they have first. Then they have the motorcycles. Then they have the uh, some of the cars, and then they have the steam engines. Then they have the other steam engines. Then they have the other steam engines, and then they have like more classic cars. And then that's it. And what's really annoying is that this happens 2 days in a row. Um, but the like so on the first day they have all of this in this order, and then the second day they have all of that on that exact same order, which is really irritating because it's like, what if you miss, what if you can't get there early enough, then you've missed all the motorcycles and shit. And it's like I get that they want to have the steam engines there because they're kind of like the main attraction. But could they not have the steam engines? I mean, could they just work around the steam engines? You know, kind of like mix it up, like have all the motorcycle stuff after the steam engines as opposed to before the steam engines. So yeah, I got to miss the motorcycles, which is really annoying. However, the motorcycles are available to view. You can see the motorcycles like in their own area at the fair. You can actually see them, and that's cool. That's nice. I like that. I appreciate that. That's interesting. But yeah, I would like to see them in motion. But they're just static there on the side forever. So yeah, whatever. Um, I did get to see the gold wing again. I like the gold wings. I like the gold wings. There were no trikes this time. There was like one trike-ish thing, but it wasn't really a trike. It was more like a car than it was a motorcycle. So that was kind of a bit of a meh. But there was this really, really big, chunky, fat Honda. Like all of the other vehicles were classic and or um, racers and sports bikes, stuff like that. You know, the classic sports bike and all that shit. but this thing was a chunky hog. This was like a proper motorcycle. And it was like really nice. And I should have taken a picture, but it was too hot, and we wanted to move on to look at something else. So yeah, it was too hot. Like I don't think it's going to show on camera because of the lighting in here. But my arm is burnt slightly, like mostly on the tops, just here and here. It's like burnt. I put sun cream on, but it's just not enough. It wasn't enough. The sun was in full death beam mode. It was kind of like that they basically had like the ambulance was kind of going around the fair. It was kind of making a rounds, like carting off people that passed out from the heat. That's how bad it was. And I'm fine. God damn it! I might also have like a bit of a cold because everybody in Damon's, everybody in my in-laws, like family, is kind of like sick. You know, they've all got mini summer colds. You know, it's basically like they have hay fever, but it's a bit worse than hay fever. So there's that. And I've definitely got something, which is really annoying. I mean, the highlight of this weekend has been the hotel. The hotel was air conditioned. It seemed to be the only place that was fucking air conditioned. Because, like, you know, my mother in law's place, like, it's not air conditioned. It's got a couple fans, and that's great. But you know, I can't do anything if my hands are slightly sweaty. If I feel my hands are slightly sweaty, I can't do anything. It's really annoying. You know, I can't play on my Game Boy. I can't draw or anything. I bought my drawing pad and my Game Boy, so that I had something to do, and that was nice in the hotel room. So that was fun. But it was just yeah. So basically, I had a lot of downtime, and I hate that. I fucking hate downtime. I hate when I can't do anything. I couldn't even play on my phone. My hands were that sweaty. It was gross. It's uncool. Literally. So there was that. Um, the hotel room, like I said, was nice. It was air conditioned. I had it to myself most of the time. Um, so yeah. Can I just buy a sleep apnea machine? Basically, Darren has sleep apnea, and it really scares the crap out of me because like he just stops breathing, and it's like, oh my god. And it's worse because he's got a cold at the moment, and it's like, oh. I bet if I buy one, he won't use it. Yeah. Like I used to find it really hard to get somebody else to use a sleep apnea machine, you know, a CPAP. But it basically, it was hard to get them to. It was just hard to get them to do it. So yeah. Anyway, I didn't film anything. There literally was no time. I suck. I know. I wanted to film something, but it was just kind of like the night that I was going to film something. That's when Damon came to use the hotel room as well. We got a hotel room because originally a lot of us were gonna like come. A lot of Damon's extended family were gonna come. So essentially, it was kind of like, and they didn't come. So essentially, it was kind of like we didn't really need the hotel room. Plus, Damon's mum doesn't have a shower. She has a bath, but she doesn't have a shower. And this hotel that uh, we use it every time we go there. It's the same hotel, and it's nice, and it has a big enough shower for me to fit in. And there's always some issue though with the shower. You know, it's always a shower curtain problem. This time the shower curtain was too short, so it just sprayed the floor with water. And it was terrible. But it was, I mean, it was only terrible after the shower. It wasn't terrible before the shower. But anyway, yeah, I couldn't film anything because basically I was A, too tired, too hot, B, too hot, and C, I was sharing the room with somebody. So yeah, so that was something, I guess. uh, um, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised because I came back and I'm not feeling as tired as I should. I feel whacked on the head, like I'm. Oh my god! Sorry, I feel whacked on the head, like I'm sleep deprived. But I'm not like super exhausted. Like I've got to go have a lay down. That's probably going to change the second I turn the camera off. I can feel that like beginning already. In fact, it's like, ooh, I said the wrong thing. But yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, that's it. Depression news. If you want to hear depression news, it's not getting better. It's really not. I might actually have to do something about this. This is it's taking up a lot of my brain space. The bad thoughts. It's taking up way too much of my brain space. Like I don't know what to do about it. I'm like I've got a appointment with my counselor, my therapist. I got that on Tuesday, but it's like it's annoying the crap out of me because I not only am I bummed out, but also I kept getting cranky, and some of that was because I was just hungry, you know. But it was just a lot. There was a lot of bad thoughts, and it just felt like nothing was helping at all, and it was just now that I'm back home, it's like I'm not I feel more whacked in the head. Like I said, I'm sleep deprived, so I'm kind of like I kind of can't think about being sad. Um, but I mean, like that's probably going to change the second I wake up from the nap that I'm going to take in a bit. So that's fun. I did get a random. Oh my god! I got a random something. I got a random message, and it gave me a little bit of hope for a second. Only for a second though. It was immediately ruined. But yeah, you remember when I was going to go? Remember when I was going to go to Scotland? Seriously, this is really annoying. Like I can't drink anymore. Remember when I was going to go to Scotland? Like I had that non-refundable ticket to Scotland. I still have that non-refundable ticket, and time is running out. It's like it's in a week's time, and I can't do anything with it. I can't even go to Scotland because I can't afford the train ticket back unless I'm actually meeting somebody there or doing something. Well, I had like a little glimmer of hope that I could actually do something with this, and it seemed like they were enthusiastic and gonna meet me and stuff like that. And I basically just asked one simple question. I was like, so I mean, like, because I was gonna stay with a friend. Um, he's annoying as fuck. That's the problem. So I was going to stay with this friend. I was basically giving him he's got like the last. It's Kyle. It was his last opportunity to not be a dipshit. He immediately blew it. He was like super enthusiastic, and then he immediately like when I said, what can I expect? In terms of like accommodation and stuff. And I was about to follow up with, am I going to have to get my own hotel room? Am I going to have to, do you know any hotels that are like super cheap that are nearby, etc. Immediately he was like, why should I? After being super enthusiastic about wanting me to come. So it's just kind of like, okay, immediately ruined. Awesome. Thanks for that. Great. This is kind of like this guy's track record, though. You know, I try. I'm trying desperately not to get my hopes up because essentially, with anything at the moment, because essentially every time I get my hopes up, it triggers depression. The second that it all comes like crashing down, some things I can't help but get my hopes up for, and it does kind of diminish the thing. Like for example, Vegas. Like I got my hopes up. I had like this mental image of exactly what was going to happen. It was awesome because based on past experience, it's usually been awesome, you know. However, it kind of like squished my, you know, when all of the things that I were hoping were going to happen didn't happen. It kind of immediately squished that kind of, the expectation, the fun. It just kind of like it ruined a bunch of like my memories and stuff because it's like, oh yeah, that was great, but we didn't get to do this. Oh, that was awesome too, but we didn't get to go there, etc. It was kind of like, yeah, but I try not to get my hopes up with anything else at the moment, and that seemed to help with the depression thing because like the um, job offers, in fact, all that stuff. Like before, I would basically get my hopes up and be like, "Oh my god, this is going to be great! If I get this job, this is going to be awesome." It doesn't look like there's any chance that I won't get this job. It's basically I'm basically hired. I just I just need the other person to follow through with what they've got to what they're offering, etc. Um, and then immediately kind of like there's always something that stops this, and that would trigger like some depression. And yeah, I know that I should just like it's like well, you should learn from this and not get your hopes up. And you know, every time that some shit like this happens to me, I immediately kind of like I do set my expectations a little bit lower, a little bit lower, and a little bit lower. It still triggers my depression so much though. It's so annoying. And I'm trying not to be a crybaby about it, but it's like it's depression. you know, I'm not just sad that I didn't get the job or that I didn't get the opportunity, etc. I'm not just sad about it. I'm not just whining about it. I'm whining about the depression that I already have that is triggered by me getting my expectations so high and then having them immediately squished. It's kind of like it immediately triggers bad thoughts, which is fun because I have to deal with that. And yeah, I don't know if that's what triggered this wave of depression, but this is the most brutal that it's ever been. This is the most depressed I feel like I've ever been. This is it. This is like the bad thoughts are really trying to get me to unalive myself. They really are trying. It's really annoying. To some point, I kind of have just not cared anymore. It's really it's just oh my god. This is the thing. If you're struggling with depression, then yeah, talk to talk to somebody about it. Talk to like a professional about it. Like I have a therapist, um, and I don't mind. I also don't mind talking about it just here, you know, because it kind of explains to people why I'm kind of an asshole sometimes when people talk to me, um, or why I give short answers and stuff. It kind of explains to people why I don't like talking because inevitably it will end up with the same question. I hate small talk. It will always end up with the same question. How are you? And I'm too honest to basically not tell them how I am. And that just brings it all up again. When mostly I was not thinking about it immediately right then, you know? Like, great. I can't, I'm not very good at with the whole lying thing of just saying, like, yeah, I'm good. So normally I try to give just if somebody asks me how I am like recently, I try to give like 1 or 2 word answers, and I mean most of the time it's usually hot and then comma hungry. you know it's more of a status than anything else, you know than how I'm feeling, but it's whatever. But yeah, if you got depression, then yeah, talk to a therapist about it. It's like it is actually helpful. I don't think it's helping me, but I mean, she knows why. she knows why it's not helping me. It's just that, like, she's very good at reminding me why I shouldn't unalive myself. She's very good at reminding me about that stuff, and I'm okay with that. So like, my nuts, my pants just kind of like twisted around my nuts when I moved my leg just now. Oof, that hurt. Anyway, she's really good at that, and basically like being really honest with me. So yeah, but yeah, I like to talk to. I like to just air out why I am the way that I am right now. So yeah. But this probably isn't the worst that my depression's ever been. Um, but it feels that way at the time. It's mainly because your brain kind of like tries to forget. It tries to forget. Sometimes it remembers, but it tries to forget all the shit, all the bad stuff. Your brain tries not to hang on to that stuff, which is healthy and cool, and I like that. I can turn that off now. It's cool enough in here, I think. Oh, that's better. Um, so yeah, I probably forgot about the time when basically uh, um, I didn't sign on for my next part of my college course, and I basically was homeless for like for only a couple of days, um, and that's because I just didn't care about living anymore, as I just kind of just walked out of my apartment, my college course, my job at the time, and all that stuff, and basically like I was kind of wondering like for those 2 days I was kind of like testing myself, like how close could I get to actually unaliving myself and stuff. Before basically my parents found me and took me back in and stuff. So yeah. So that's probably the worst I've ever been. But I'm pretty fucking close. I've been like I have had the opportunity to work out and had the opportunity to eat salad and stuff, eat healthily. But I just for the past couple of well for the past week I've not haven't had the upness to go do that. So that's fun. Like yeah, which is really annoying because exercise and walking and eating something healthy is actually a good mood boost. But it's just according to my therapist, I kind of don't believe that I deserve to be alive anymore. And that's kind of why I haven't done that stuff. I've kind of like hyper rationalized myself away from that stuff. So yeah, I've been okay. I've survived. I do want a salad. I have eaten healthily and stuff. It's just that it's kind of like um, whereas I would try to eat something, I'd try to eat at least one, like one pair of vegetable groups and one pair of fruit groups a day, you know, so that I can get my fruit, 5 a day, fruit and veg. And also, I like variety, so that was nice to do. Um, yeah, but I basically have just gone for like, the pizza and the ready-made meals um, and just the sandwiches without lettuce in them and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, at least I'll be happy one way. So yeah, because that's the whole weird gaining like mindset is that kind of like um that like at least I'll be happy with that goal. So yeah. In brighter news, speaking of like gaining and inflation and all that stuff, I have just had a weird experience. Not 4 or 5 hours ago, I was at my in-laws, and I just had like the last meal of the day, and I basically was with my in-laws, with my family, and I was trying. We were just talking in the living room, in the lounge, whatever. We were just sitting there speaking in the lounge, and I basically like was actually inflating because I hadn't had a lot of beans. I had beans for breakfast, and then I had beans for dinner. Um, so like they're very gassy. They make me feel very gassy. So yeah, and I was basically sitting there, and I could feel my tummy basically inflating by itself, and I was like, I needed to fart really badly, but I knew that it would probably be loud, and everybody would hear it, and I was going to be self-conscious. But it got to the point where it was A, uncomfortable, and B, it was visible. I was visibly blown up. So I was just like, I'm just going to go outside because it's cooler out there. And when I went outside, it was just like I did deflate, and it was kind of hilarious. And I almost shot myself, but I didn't. But yeah, I was describing this to a friend as basically like, um, yeah, it was kind of like a quiet raspberry. It wasn't that loud at all. It was kind of like a quiet raspberry, and then a gentle hissing for what felt like 10 minutes of just release of hissing, and then another quiet raspberry, and then it was over. And it was like, what the but yeah, it was funny. So that's just an up for all the down that I've just laid out. So yeah, um, that was an up funny story kind of. But yeah, it's really unhealthy to hold in your farts, but essentially, isn't that what like inflation is anyway? It's kind of just holding in farts. So whatever. Might do that again sometime. That was funny. Anyway, I haven't had anybody in the chat, no new messages and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go, and hopefully I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow where I'll get something. If I'll try to come up with like a new idea, but I might do just a filming, live stream filming thing. I don't know. At the very least, I'll bring in some Pepsi Max or something, and we'll do a Pepsi blow like I was going to do in the hotel anyway. Just do it here. It'll be like a directed by you video or something. But hopefully that'll be tomorrow. Unless I'm feeling like super duper mega depressed and or am asleep. I'll do that tomorrow. Um, but yeah, so that was my weekend and a bit of my week. Um, so yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, if any of my fans or my friends or anybody that basically watches this and is in like Aberdeen on the 4th and can let me like sleep on their couch or something for like one night, then let me know, because like I really want to use up this ticket. I really want to use up this ticket. I don't want it to go to waste, but it's going to go to waste. It's just, yeah, it's a bummer. Anyway, I do the belly rub and belly salute, but no one's here. So, toodles. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.